No.
Oh yeah, I gotta hit him up. I know he said he wanted to play too. Yeah, we can get a little 4-man going.
4-man yeet.
Yeah.
I feel like in my second life, I'm going to be a wrestler, and my name's going to be Jax Jackson.
I bet you want to end the podcast episode of that. All right, let's go. Oh, my phone!
But why would I? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh no! Thought I destroyed my phone cord.
Why would I? That doesn't
All
make
right.
Oh, let's see if we can get Dana up in here. Come on, Dana, get on up in here.
Life doesn't make sense, my guy. Hey man, shut your pie hole. I'm gonna do the intro now.
Okay, shh. I'm doing.
Hello, and welcome to episode 224 of the Super Weapon Podcast, the most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy Darius the Artist, and as always, I got my co-host DC here with me today.
Yes, this is your boy DC. What up, though? I look like a big bowl of Neapolitan ice cream today, but that's the flavor that I'm going with. So you guys got to rock out with me.
Neapolitan ice cream.
Ice cream. Yeah, I got my Neapolitan hoodie on today. I'm trying to, my spring colors. You feel me?
I see that, man. That's actually
Lavendale, a little. But I had to make it tough, so I had to put some fatigues over it. You feel me?
Oh yeah, you can't have the
can't be too floral.
Can't be too soft in today's world, I guess. All right, chat. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 224, man. We're back again. Darkstar, hello, my good man. Happy Saturday. Hang around because we'll be playing some Monster Hunter later. But before we get into that, man, how are you doing, DC? It's been a while. We weren't here last week.
I'm fantabulous, my brother. I'm doing great. It's been a long work week, but I can't complain because, gainfully employed, they say, so.
Yes,
ready
man.
to talk. I saw some news drop, and it's funny that we were going through this phase of if we're going to return to this certain game or not, right? Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to gather the troops to come on back to Siege. See how the tables have freaking turned?
Yeah.
God has shined his light upon thee.
Yes.
Right?
We'll definitely be we are definitely gonna talk about some Siege today.
Not
funny,
to jump the gun.
It is funny how things do kind of turn out on that front. I mean, I think it's okay to play stuff, take a break and come back and check out what's new. And there's definitely a lot of new with that. You know what? We can just talk about it. Why not? Let's just go ahead and pow, jump that gun and talk about Rainbow Six Siege X. So we got a update. I don't want to say this is I kind of look at this like what they did for Counter-Strike, I guess you could say, with Siege X, which is a update and expansion of Siege. It's crazy. I'm gonna tell you what's really crazy is that they're on year 10 of Siege. Like, just saying that out loud, it's crazy just to really go back and think that this game first came out in 2015 and it has been that long. I mean, and the community has been around, man, and we really hadn't spent a lot of time playing it over the last several years, but every once in a while, I would still check out, a few tournaments here and there. A couple of streamers would still play Siege. So it's definitely, I wouldn't say that it lost its, community or anything like that, because it definitely kind of held strong. But it's cool to see that, that they're updating the game, that Ubisoft is, continuing to support this game. Because you mentioned it right before we started the podcast, too, was that, Ubisoft, even though they haven't done the greatest job lately of initial releases, I think they're some of the best in the business when it comes to supporting their games for long term.
They really, what I like to say is they really work their games.
Yeah.
Once their games are out there, you can definitely count on Ubisoft to, keep pushing out content, keep even if it's like big content or just little small adjustments,
Yeah.
Listening to their community and just changing little, small things. The majority of their games that are out, they do that with. Like their main titles, you have some like certain ones that have been canceled, but we're not going to
Sure.
Yeah. The games that's out and working and well received, they will keep cleaning house on these games, and Siege is one of them.
Yeah.
Siege has lived the life of a child. Siege is about to become a teenager
Yeah.
because it's not going anywhere. We're going to get at least another good solid 8 years of Siege. It looked like that's what they're aiming for. It looked like they're pushing the boundaries to go to the CS, like the Counter Strike level. Counter Strike has been around for quite
20,
some
20,
time now.
20 plus
So
years at this point, 25 years or something like that. It's been a while. Yeah.
yeah, and it looked like from the adjustments that we're going to talk about, it looked like they're going for a more authentic, realistic. They're trying to dive back into their like really, really tactical bag, I feel like. And I'm here for it. I'm just like you. If I see like a tournament on or something, I'll definitely clock in and watch it, even though I don't agree with some of the operator choices. And that's just me personally. Some of them, but the overall game has always been like
Yeah.
one of the games that always just have fond memories of. Just
Right.
me, you guys, all of us rushing home to get some good Siege games in.
Man.
And Siege is going to be one of those games like Halo. It's forever going to be like a part of my gaming life. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one of those games that
Yeah.
years from now I'm going to talk about like I talk about Halo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, just Siege in general or Rainbow Six as a brand has been around for an incredibly long time, man. I remember playing what was it, Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 back in the day. Like it's always been a series or a franchise that I've always enjoyed, and like I said, I'm glad that it seems like they really took the time to listen to a lot of the frustrations that the community has had over an extended period of time. But I mean, we could just kind of like talk about some of the announcements. So Ubisoft held an event this past week. It was the 13th, I believe, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
Here, actually, locally in Atlanta, Georgia. No, we didn't go because we have to work to pay bills and all that good stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like it was a pretty big event. Like the production level was actually really nice to see. They had a live crowd and everything, which is cool to see. Like I still just like I always appreciate those types of things, especially when it comes to gaming events, man. Like it's nothing kind of quite like a live crowd. But the first thing we got to see was the new mode that they are actually introducing called Dual Front, which is a 6v6 mode launching this year, June 10th. There is, I believe, a beta going on until the 19th on PC and current gen consoles. So unfortunately, Xbox One, PS4, you guys won't be able to play this. But I thought this was pretty cool. Like just to see this mode in general, this kind of 6v6, and you can mix attackers and defenders on the same team, and you have like these multiple objectives that kind of rotate throughout the map. I mean, this was just like super interesting to me. Just like the ability, the thought of having attackers and defenders on the same team. Like I was thinking like a
It's
Dokkaebi and
insane.
a what's the guy's name with the shield? Those just like attackers, like having the way that you can kind of like mix up the meta and stuff seems
It's
pretty
going to be a
cool.
big mode, and I see them further extending on it.
Hmm.
And for those who never played Siege, let me tell you, going from a 5v5 to a 6v6 is a major difference. It's going to
Yeah.
be chaotic, and the fact that you can mix offense with defensive players is going to throw a new dynamic into the game that's going to have a lot of people creating different types of metas and setting up
Yes.
different kind of traps, and depending on like the objectives and the things that they have going for the game, it's going to I really want to see how this is going to play out, because I don't know, like it seemed like it's going to be a lot going on, and I'm all for chaos, but I need a controlled chaos, especially with Siege. Siege is one of the games where I play a little more conservative. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I hope it don't turn into one of these like wild, wild west situations. Like I kind of want a little bit of chaos in there, but I still want it to be tactical, like OG Siege. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking very forward to that update, to that to see how the fellas like see how we would approach it in a six stack.
I think it's gonna be
And
fun. I mean, just watching some of
that shit,
the
it's gonna be crazy.
content creators play it at the event. I mean, and I'm sure some of them were just kind of like having fun and stuff, not taking it too serious. But I could
Yeah.
definitely see, and I'm glad that they did add some sort of like objective based modes, like things for players to focus on. Otherwise, just like you said, it would just turn into a situation where people are just kind of running around and just turn into team deathmatch, which can happen in some matches of Siege, as we've played before.
Right.
But I like that you have things to focus on, and this will kind of hopefully put a little bit of structure, and it seems to be the case. You have the ability to extract certain operatives, and like I said, there was one where it looks like you get, and I think you get bonuses for extracting certain operatives from whatever you're trying to do. And it looks like there's a mode within this where you can plant bombs and stuff, and you kind of deal with certain, like I said, it seems like rotating objectives will kind of keep the gameplay fresh. And I think just for now they only previewed one map, and the map itself looks
Hmm.
pretty big, which I think it
No,
has
from
to
my
be for a six for
understanding,
12 people on a map. It has to be kind of large, I think. So
it's right, and for now it's one map.
yeah, I think
And
it's
they
just the
said
one.
as the new seasons, um as we get new seasons,
Yeah. Hmm.
they'll be adding new things. I'm not sure if that's including maps or whatever. I think it's going to be all judged, or we're going to get this content, and it all depends on how this mode is received.
Yeah,
If this mode, I'm pretty sure if this mode becomes very popular, they'll start. Maybe we'll get one or two new maps, um,
I think so. I mean,
and
I
things of
think
that
so. Yeah.
nature. Yeah.
Is this supposed to be a new game? Darkstar asked. No. So, Darkstar, I want you to think of it like the Counter Strike update from a year or two ago. When they updated the gameplay elements, and that's something we'll talk about too, like actual core gameplay improvements. But this was alongside the major announcements that they had was this game mode here, which I thought was worth talking about because it just looks really interesting. I mean, you can even kind of look at the map in the top left of the screen. Up here, you can see just like how it looks like how large the map is. Like you have like your side of the map and then the enemy side, and there's certain objectives that you have to do. And defenders can go outside in this game mode, which I thought was pretty interesting. So, and I just gotta say, man, there are so many operatives in this game now that I have no idea who they are, what they do, because
Hmm.
we've been or at least I've been out of the loop so long when it comes to just like Siege in general, man. But this was definitely interesting and it was cool to see. But as far as like core like Siege X improvements, a real improvement, not like Overwatch to Overwatch 2, yes. So yeah, you're not. So if you already own the game, you get these updates. This is a part of the current Siege game itself. And one thing I like that they did, they announced that people who've been playing the game or who have played the game before, you guys like people get rewarded. I think there's like exclusive skins and stuff that people get, which I think is pretty cool. Is probably incentivizing people to come back to the game itself. But one of the biggest things that I think that I did want to talk about was the audio updates and the audio improvements that they've talked about. Because as we know, a game like Siege, tactical game like Siege, the audio is paramount in trying to hear.
Boy, look, that's my notes are like
So,
boom, audio.
yeah, like audio was a big part of the show, which I thought was really cool to see. And I like how they talked about how audio kind of propagates off of different surfaces, like, and it sounds completely different depending on the type of surface and how it will spread, through like let's say somebody makes like a hole or something on a wall or I think that was really cool to see. And just like I was telling DC, like I hope it works because we've been down this road before with other games, Apex, where we've talked
Oh
about
my god.
we've talked about audio time and time again. And I know it's probably like a really hard thing to get right, but if they can get it right in this game, I think that'll take
It's
Siege
very
to another
paramount.
level. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's one of those things where it seems like they've really into. Let me see if I can find the actual part of the presentation where they were. I forget how far in it is. They were talking about audio. And I'm not gonna play it live, obviously, because YouTube is stupid. But there was one point they were really kind of like hammering home like how important audio is gonna be going forward, which I thought was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if this is it here.
And it was also like while we're talking about audio, I don't
Yeah.
want to jump the gun, but
No,
I'm
you can go
very
ahead.
excited for the fact that the simplest thing will change the meta of this whole game, and they're adding shadows.
Yes, the lighting updates. Yeah, we can talk about that too. It looks like I think the game is just being brought more in line with modern gameplay lighting, and I mean, because I let's just be honest, you're not gonna be able to get this this update on old gen consoles. So I know it sucks to some degree for people who may not have transitioned yet to current gen or PC, but I think it's kind of needed. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, the game's been out for 10 years. At
Right.
some point they have to move on with technology. But yes, what DC was talking about, actually, I just found that part of the presentation. They're talking about shadows. So I thought this was cool because one thing, one of the guys who were doing the presentation were talking about is, enemies can see your shadows on the ground now. So if they, depending on where you're standing,
Around
in
the
a hallway
corner.
or a door, they can see your shadow around the corner, which just adds a whole other cool layer of gameplay. Like, like I
Something you
think
have
that
to
is
keep in
so
mind
fucking
while you're
cool.
moving around the map.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's just like it's like that kind of attention to detail. I think is super fucking cool. Like here you can see gameplay of the audio. I mean of the shadow and just how the lighting is changed. I mean the game was already a very good looking game. But I think with these visual and audio updates, I think it's gonna take it like the immersion of the game to a whole other level, as
Yeah,
well
what
as
did they say? They
the.
had like 4K texture packages
Yeah.
and
And I mean
yeah.
they've had those before because you can download those I think on PC now. Like or I just think that like I said I think this is probably just more of an update to the in-game engine itself to give just that more like that better sense of immersion. I think that's the best way of trying to say it. But
And you know what? Speaking of, like, they could have easily packaged this and threw in new operators and they could have did a siege too. But I like the approach of them just saying like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just make this kind of like an add-on because
mm,
from my understanding, it cost you nothing. Um,
no, it just I
you
think like they
know,
have like a battle pass like they always do. But
yeah, there's gonna be a battle pass, and you if you're new to Siege, you're gonna step in with a set amount of operators, and then I think the other operators are for purchase, which is fine. I'm not mad at that because they got to
nah.
get their money.
Mm,
Um, that's a healthy microtransaction, as I like to call them. So I'm not mad at that. It just seems like when I went into watching this, I was not expecting nothing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was just like, oh, yeah, maybe they'll make them with shoelaces and maybe a fancy hat. I don't know. But after I watched the presentation, I was like really pumped about playing this game again.
yeah.
I was like, wow, hats off to the developing team over at Ubisoft because it looked like, these are really, really, really good changes. And it looked like they really, really put some thought into these changes. It looked like this is not something that was overnight. It looked like
Nah,
they
they said
sat
they've been
around and was
working on
like,
this for a
hey,
while. Yeah.
yeah, they probably looked at tournaments and they probably been watching stuff like how can we improve this experience for, not only just our hardcore fans who stuck with us for 10 years, but new people. And that's the thing like right now that's going on even with Monster Hunter, right? You want to kind of make it welcoming to new people. You kind of want more well, not kind of, but you want more people to play your game.
Yeah.
So you want to be welcoming, but you don't want to scare off your core audience. And I think with these changes, I think you get a little bit of both. I think they really, really did a good job hitting the nail on the head. Even simple stuff like that, like when he was talking about, how you fall off the bed and it's all slow and kind of unrealistic. You're losing momentum. And then how he just ran over the bed and he had kind of those smooth movements.
Yeah, it looks like
Little
they up
bitty,
the game speed just slightly too, which is nice. Yeah,
yeah, little bitty things like that, especially if you have experience playing Siege, you're gonna notice all of that.
them
Like
seconds
to
matter,
someone who
man.
might be new,
Yeah,
if it's new to you, you might be like, okay, that's cool, whatever, blah blah blah, sound okay. But coming from the days when we played Siege and someone would pop me and I'd be like, oh, this motherfucker was right there. Like, why did I not hear him? Why didn't I hear footsteps? Like the inconsistency in footsteps, I think it has to be a hard thing kind of creating audio for each individual player because it always seems like from Siege to Apex, there's always kind of a inconsistency with movement sound, right?
yeah.
And it's like you said, I just want to reiterate, if they hit the nail on the head with the audio in Siege, this game skyrockets, like at least in the top 5 when it comes to
Yeah.
shooters.
Between
And I
between that and the new environmental stuff that they're showing right here for our audio listeners, they're showing the you have the ability to shoot out like those red pipes on maps now and fire extinguishers that will create these hazards for people. Like if you shoot a pipe out, it'll create like this jet of flame, and then it will, if you continue to damage it, it'll eventually like explode and make just like a carpet of fire on the ground for a little while. Shooting out extinguishers seem like it kind of debilitates you, makes you move slower. You probably can't hear as well, which kind of I think works as a
It
flashbang.
visually impairs you. It's almost
Yeah,
like a flashbang,
which I
so
think
to
is
speak.
super cool. I mean, because they're showing some defenders, like some of the defending operatives, like some of their abilities and stuff, and how you can kind of use that in conjunction, which I think is just like this is the kind of stuff I wanted to see from Siege, man. Like I didn't know what it was that would have brought me back to this game, but it's just like you said, right? Like they could have just made this. They could have just focused on making a sequel to Siege, and I'm sure they probably had discussions about it at some point. But I'm glad that in this day and age of gaming, and I know it's always kind of live service. I'm doing air quotes over here. Live service games always kind of get a bad rap, but when it's done to this degree, and you do the
Hmm.
right things and you listen to your community, I think that is something that is pretty cool. I mean, like even the ability to turn off these metal detectors, like that is insane.
And people don't understand. I want to keep harping on this, right? These things may not seem like big things on the outside looking in, but as a Siege player, the way you can set up situations
Yeah,
for your benefit with these small changes, the the developers really got into their bag with this one because I remember so many times where I would run through a metal detector and I'd be like, oh shit. Like you literally just let the whole map know where you at.
beep 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 beep.
And if
Yeah,
everybody's communicating with each other, that brings me up to another topic of communication in this game
yeah,
because they updated the ping system, which I already thought ping systems in games are pretty simplistic, but they work very efficiently when used.
yeah,
But it looked like Rainbow Six Siege added another layer with the ping system because you can add like little pictures to the ping. It's like they added like little pictures. So if you're pinging a trap, you'll get like a certain kind of ping.
yeah.
And
It's kind of like how Overwatch, not Overwatch, Apex does something like when
yeah,
they do something similar in Apex as well, which is pretty cool. Like I think ping systems in general just really have come a long way in helping players communicate, especially when you don't want to be on the
you need it
mic.
in this game though.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Siege is all about communication and when we talk about the levels of toxicity in gaming,
yeah,
it kind of made me think about that as well because we always people always lightheartedly want to glorify like the Call of Duty days and stuff, which was cool because yeah, that was cool for whatever it was because basically back in the day it was just shoot a person, right?
yeah,
But these games, the toxicity can kind of mess up the team chemistry because you really need to communicate in these games. Like Siege, you really have to be in unison with your team. So you can't have somebody just up here screaming obscenities and stuff. You're like, yo, shut up, because you need to hear the footsteps. You need to hear your team. You need to hear. It's so much. You use your ears more than any other game. Like Siege is one of them games where
Yeah.
you use your ears a lot.
Right.
So
Yeah, Winnie, you're right.
I
Yeah.
love what they did with the whole, like, they're trying to improve on the toxicity, and they said their levels went down.
Yeah, they were
Like,
talking about that and how they've been handling. They've invested a lot into like anti cheat, and I will give Rainbow Six Siege credit. Like Rainbow Six was never a game that was, at least when we played it, we never really ran into a lot of cheaters. I know that it's probably more so a little bit on PC, but it seems like at least they're committed to fixing the problem, like a certain other franchise, Call of Duty. That
mm,
that they're really trying to work on ways of having a more dynamic anti cheat. And as somebody who has been learning about IT security heavily the last month, like I can understand how difficult it is to. It's a almost insurmountable problem in gaming, just in general. Like it's almost an
is
impossible
it
problem
safe
to
to say
solve.
it's a? I would like to say it's like a back and forth. You
It
know,
is, yeah,
you create
100%.
something. The good guys create something to stop hackers or whatever you want to call them.
Yes,
And then a year later, the hackers figure that out. They create another new anti cheat. And so the good guys are back at the drawing board again, like, hey, well, now we
yeah,
got to make something
and
different.
honestly, I think it definitely depends on how much money gamers or studios want to develop or put towards the development of anti cheat, because that's something that's not cheap to do, and it's
Hmm.
gonna always be a just like just like Bangle just said, it's always gonna be a cat and mouse game. But at least it seems like they're committed to continuing to improve the anti cheat in the game, especially with the game going free to access, as they call it, in season
Hmm.
2 of year 10, which will probably be later this year. I'm imagining. I think season 10 starts in a couple of weeks, or I could totally be wrong that, but when a
And
game
also,
typically when games go to like free to play, you have
yeah,
a flood of players coming in, so you have a lot more to kind of worry about on that front. I mean, like we look at Warzone, like all people do in Warzone is cheat. Like let's just be honest, like all they do in Warzone is cheat. It is ridiculous how bad Call of Duty is right now when it comes to cheating. Like it's so bad.
ongoing battle, man.
Yeah.
But I would also like to bring up another point that you tapped on quite a few episodes. This is another time to point out the absolute positive use of AI, because that will also be
Yes.
used in anti cheats as well, to kind of predict like unusual, player movements and things like that.
Hmm.
AI is going to be used to kind of help with the anti cheat, which is crazy because as I did my research, I found out, like, the bad guys, quote unquote, they're using AI as well.
Yes. Oh,
So
they
you
are.
have it being
Yes.
used. Yeah, you have it being used on both ends. And I want to, I want to recommend that you guys, I'll probably throw some links in the Discord to look that up, like AI anti-cheating. Like there's a lot of topics and stuff on it that I think is very very enlightening and interesting.
Yes. Agreed. It's
Yep, AI
definitely
fighting AI.
it's definitely becoming something, and we're going to talk about AI like a little bit more deeply too when it in relation to gaming when we move on to Xbox. But I think what the only thing I wish that they would do, and I don't know if this is a thing or not already for Siege, like I said, 'cause I've been so out of the loop on the game, but I really would love if I could take my purchases from Xbox and attach them to my Ubisoft account, so I could have my skins and the operators and stuff that I have on Xbox and play PC, because I've been really thinking about it. Like I do want to go back and play Siege, and I own Siege on PC. I just say that I own the game on
Yeah,
PC.
I have it on all consoles because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, but I think I would rather play on PC because I mean, this game I don't think it's too hard to play on keyboard and mouse from my limited time trying, but it would be nice if I could have my stuff that I spent money on Xbox, to come on over to PC. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back. I think this was a excellent presentation, and I highly recommend you guys watch it. I mean, we didn't even cover. We maybe got through half of the stuff. I mean, we didn't even talk about like the rappel system and how you can run along walls now, which is fucking insane, and bend around corners while you're rappelling. Yeah, which is nuts. Like,
they went into way more depth. We just
Yeah.
kind of skimming through it because we keep the pod to a certain, hour length. But if you guys want to go check that out, please, please, please do. I'm going to
Yeah.
link it in the description. The actual whole presentation. They had pro teams testing it out.
pro teams,
and-
content creators. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and the presentation is pretty long. Like the whole event, I think was like 2.5 hours. So I would
Yes.
highly recommend you guys watch it. It was pretty entertaining from beginning to end.
If you're a Siege fan, of
Yeah.
course, you got to go watch that. But we back in them streets, Darkstar. We are.
Yeah, I think
that
yeah, like I said, I don't know. I think I may, because I don't Darkstar, do you still have your Xbox? I don't even know if you do, man. Like, and see, this is another
He
thing.
said
It's
he's
like,
never playing Siege again.
I wish we had like some sort of like cross save functionality, or the game gives you anxiety. That's fair. Siege is a game that will stress you out, especially when you're like the last person
Oh,
alive. And
Y'all want to talk stories? Oh, we might do a Patreon afterpod because I got stories for days, and
Yeah.
it was one time where me and Darius wasn't even friends after a Saturday of playing.
oh man,
like,
yeah, man, this game stresses
I
you
shot
out.
Darius like 18 times.
He killed me quite a bit, man. Isn't it crossplay? I don't think so. I'm gonna look it up actually. Siege. Wait, it does have crossplay. Wait a minute. Wait a
They
minute.
probably added it because I know originally it didn't.
Oh my god. Wait. Does it have cross save? Hold
Ubisoft
on.
is they're pretty user friendly. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my god, there's cross progression. Oh, we're in there. Oh, we're fucking in there.
Oh, I could take all my stuff from my Xbox and put it on my PC.
Yo, chat, we're in there. I had no idea that they added cross progression. Oh my god, I need Ubisoft to email me back because I'm locked out on my Ubisoft account.
Can't you just make a new one?
Nah, then I won't have my stuff.
Oh, that's true.
I need my
You
stuff.
might need to call the number, bro. I would call them.
Nah, I emailed them yesterday. I found a way to actually contact them. They don't make it easy.
And look.
There's no number, man. And let's just be honest. If there was, it would probably just be.
I'm
French.
going to Montreal. Wait, don't we
Yeah.
got friends in Canada?
It would just
Wink.
be a bunch of French people, probably. Yeah. Yeah,
thought
Bango,
it was
teach me French, man. Can you teach me how to speak French so I can call their support line?
Parlez-vous français? I know a few words. Let me dig in my bag. I took a few French classes. because I thought I was
Omelette
Mr.
du
Romance.
fromage.
No, I thought I was like Ricky
Yeah.
Romance one time in my life. I
Oh,
was dropping the
man.
gems on them. You feel me?
You'll play again even though you're super trash. So are we, man. It's the beauty of playing
Hey,
games
we
with your
just
friends.
need a five. We need a 5 stack of ass. It don't matter. All right,
That's all that
5
matters.
stack of ass. We'll learn together. We will
Cross
learn
progression.
together.
I had no idea, man. Oh
Didn't
my
that
gosh.
just make your day?
That did actually. I'm not even kidding. I was over here
Yeah.
really like contemplating buying a Series X just now. Because I was like, I
Oh,
don't
so
want to
you
give
just
my
need
stuff
your
up. No, I don't want. No, stop that.
So my
Stop
Series
that.
X is a great desk warmer. I always turn it on, just like let the heat blow.
I
in
don't
my
know
face.
anything anymore, man. Like it's been, gosh, man, it's been like 4 years, maybe 5 years since we've played.
I still remember the call outs. Yeah.
It's been a long
Well,
time.
I mean, that's fair because I still watch Siege.
And
so.
honestly, they have like a UI where you can see what rooms you're in and stuff now. Like it'll show you like in the bottom of the screen, bottom left, bottom right of the screen. Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll show you the name, so it
Yeah.
makes call out. It'll make call outs easier to understand.
You know how to
Like,
shoot
oh,
straight.
he's
That's
in the
we just
library.
need people that know how to shoot straight. Hold an
And
angle
listen,
and shoot
and
straight.
listen.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Siege
it.
Siege is really tough.
Yeah.
Solo queuing, it really is.
As long as we
You
got
think
Weenie, man,
Marvel
we'll be
is
fine, man. He's gonna carry us to victory.
Carry.
He's one of the few people that I know that still plays semi regularly.
Hey, Bangle, you want to jump on the team too?
Yeah.
Like, look, we need a strong 5 stack, y'all.
Yeah, ADS, what's that? All hip fire. You see what I mean? Look at Winnie. Look at him. See, he's already flexing in chat. Yeah, I don't hip fire. I don't ADS. I just hip fire everything. And
I
kill
feel like
people.
he did like one of those anime, like slide your glasses up. What's that?
Right.
And he slides his glasses up with the 2 fingers.
That's so
Let me-
fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, man. So yeah, we'll definitely be checking out Siege very soon actually. Oh man, I'm actually kind of hyped now. I'm not gonna lie. That actually got me a little excited.
Just say it, man. Get pumped, man. Get pumped. Big pump.
Yeah. You have aced on Doc. You see what I mean? Look at him. He's killed a whole team by
Look at
himself,
him.
man.
With Doc, he was just shooting them needles,
You're supposed to be saving lives, Sweeney. Right.
not taking them. Medic. Remember when I used to be screaming?
Yeah.
Medic.
Medic. Oh man, good times, man. Good times.
I'm very, very obnoxious playing Siege. I understand why I get yelled at.
Yeah, man. Just stop fusing.
So
the
we
room.
got me, you, Era, Weenie, Dark Star.
That's
We
hot.
got our boy Big Bangle coming off the bench. What's his name for the Lakers? Well, that's what we gonna call Bangle.
Who are you talking about?
Not Kuzma.
I don't know.
The guy they
man.
just got. The guy
Oh,
they just got.
Doncic. You talking about Lucas?
Yeah,
Oh, my
Iron
God.
Doncic, bruh. Iron Doncic off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Putting up a strong 32 kills. You feel me?
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, we'll
But
be
it's
back.
worth checking out, guys. It's worth checking out.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were a fan of Siege, stop playing it like we did, or please go check it out on YouTube, man, and tell us what you think.
Oh, God,
Come on
I'm
over to
so
the Discord.
excited, guys. You have no idea.
We're gonna create a little Siege Discord. Might as well go ahead and get that popping right now.
I think I have it down. I do have it downloaded. Yeah, I'm gonna update it while we're on the pod right now. We're playing Monster Hunter today, but anyway. So that's Siege. Please check it out. The description for the description link. The link for the presentation will be in the description box. I can't talk right now because I'm too excited. Let's talk a little bit of Xbox, man, before the end of the podcast. We got a little bit of news about the future. Sorry, that was us zooming into the future. Apparently, we may be getting our first Xbox gaming handheld this year. And according to some leaks that people have been kind of talking about the last few days, Project Keenan, as it's called, not from Keenan and Kel. Sorry.
Oh hell no!
But yeah, so
need you
this
a
will
little
be
bit,
an
not gonna lie.
official branded Xbox gaming handheld device. It was codenamed Project Keenan, and they're apparently working with a hardware manufacturer. So they're not developing the actual hardware themselves. That is expected to be released summer of this year. So that will probably, if I had to guess, it'd probably be like later this year, September-ish. I can't see this being like a June or July. I would actually be shocked if they did a showcase in July or June, and then we get this in July. But expected price range of it is supposed to be between $499 and $599,
Bought,
which is positioned between the Steam Deck and the Legion Lenovo Go.
bought.
I think this is actually pretty interesting. I mean, especially when it comes to the alleged rumors of the next Xbox, the next console is allegedly supposed to be coming out sometime in 2027 as well. I think this is actually really interesting that they're doing this now.
And they're skipping the whole mid console.
Yes.
Hmm.
I like that they
I have my
are
thoughts.
the Xbox didn't go the mid console refresh that PlayStation did, the PS5 Pro. I mean, honestly, man, like we talked a lot about handheld gaming on the podcast before, and I think that there is a legitimate market there. Especially, I mean, you look at the success of Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, like I said, the Lenovo Legion. Like a lot of these handhelds are, I don't want to say taking over the market, but they're definitely becoming more popular. And Xbox they've been hinting at a handheld for a long time now. Now, I will say this. I don't think
Be
this
humble.
will be I don't think this will be their final handheld. I think we could potentially get another one in a few years with the new Xbox. Because I was thinking about it, right? Like, you have the Series S, and then you have the Series X. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like they made a mistake with the Series S and X. I think so with the naming for sure, but I
Yeah.
understand where they were coming from when they were trying to kind of hit that middle ground for gamers or people who were new to gaming that wanted to start getting into gaming with a console that was a good entry point for people, especially when it comes to price point. But I honestly could see a future where they could replace the Series S with a handheld, and that'll be kind of like their entry into the Xbox ecosystem. I could definitely see that. So I don't know. Like, do you think the Xbox will get another console family, like with next gen, like a Series X successor and a Series S successor? I don't think so, especially if we're going the
Hmm.
handheld route.
I think this was all in their plans. And first of all, I just want to say, before I say anything, I need to say this. Way, way, way long ago in the land of games, Darius predicted this.
I did.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that old. What
I
is
did,
it?
man. I don't
That
like to.
modest. Yeah, 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 yeah. Claim
I
that
don't like
shit.
to toot my own horn, but I did call the shit.
Don't give me that modest Andy shit. Toot that horn, goddamn it, because you
Yeah.
called this a long time ago. I think when they first announced the Steam Deck, you were kind of on the thought process of
Yeah.
games going like handheld, and like you've always been a pro component of that movement. So, I just had to give my brother his props, you feel
I
me?
mean,
But
it just makes sense, man. Like handheld gaming has been, for the lack of a better term, like it's been non-existent since the 3DS. I mean, you have third party companies that have made uh they've made like their own versions of some handhelds here and there, but none of the big 3 as you would call it, Nintendo, Xbox and PlayStation have really like invest. I mean, well, I guess you could say Nintendo with the Switch, sure. But like as far
mm,
as like dedicated handheld like hardware, we haven't really had it for a long time, and I think with how powerful phones have gotten, it just kind of makes sense, because I don't typically play like a lot of games on my phone. I have one that I'll play like every once in a while. Like I'll play like Yu-Gi-Oh on my phone every once in a while, but I'm not really like a big phone gamer. Like I kind of
mm.
wish, I kind of wish we had some sort of like dedicated device for gaming, outside of just the Steam Deck, and I think we're starting to get that with some of these
You
devices.
start to see them pop up. Like they have a
Hmm.
whole bunch of different kind of handhelds, and one of the homies, my homie Ant, who's probably listening, he hit me up this morning and he just bought a Steam Deck, and he was like, "Dude, like, why didn't you tell me about this?" And I feel
Yeah,
like it fits his lifestyle because he travels a lot, and
yeah,
so he was like, he's like completely in love, and he's like a very casual gamer. Like he's not like heavy off into the games like we are, but
yeah.
he was just like, "Yo, this shit is fire. Like, why didn't I know about this?" And blah blah blah. And I think as we move forward, I always kind of felt like I wasn't up on the game like you, like a long, long time ago, but I felt like was going to go this way, and I'm predicting we may not even see an Xbox console next generation cycle. I think they're going to keep it. My predictions, I could be way off. I'm okay with being off, but I feel like they're going to invest in the handheld, and I think we're going to get more.
Nah, we're definitely
We may
getting
have
another
a.
Xbox,
I don't
100%.
think we're going to have a family per se, because we may have like a core Xbox and then the handheld.
That's what
Maybe
I think.
different versions of the handheld,
Yeah,
but when you think about what Phil Spencer has been preaching about being able to play, we want you to be able to play anywhere. It makes sense to have like a standard console, and then maybe you'll have different variations of the handheld, like one that's super powerful, the most pricier one. Then maybe you have a Xbox handheld S, you know, something like that.
Honestly, I could see them doing something along those lines. It's funny you say that, right? Like, especially if they're partnering with other tech companies to manufacture these devices. I kind of look at it how GPUs do that, right? Like
He just
Nvidia.
sent me a picture. He just sent me a picture of the Steam Deck. Like he's really excited
That's
about the
awesome.
Steam Deck.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I could see them doing that, the same strategy that GPUs will do, where you'll have different. They call them OEMs, original equipment manufacturers that will partner with. They'll like Xbox is essentially, from what these leaks are saying, Xbox is going to license out the brand, probably some of their technology, like when it comes to like button technology,
Right.
maybe the operating system, anything else that they might look at to kind of partner with or license out. I think this is in my if I was a betting man, right? This is probably like a proof of concept for Xbox. I think we'll get an official, like, I don't even think they'll probably even call this like Xbox handheld or something. You know, I don't see them doing
No,
that.
no, that's too on the nose.
Yeah, but I think
You think
when
it'd be like in its own standalone kind of?
I think so. I think it'll be something along, be like in partnership with Asus or in partnership with, but when we
I don't
hit,
even think it'd be an Xbox or anything. Like the name Xbox, period.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna wait until whenever the next premium Xbox is that launches. If we're gonna hit 2027, it's crazy to even think that by then it'll be 7 years since the PS5 and the Series X have launched, which is just, it doesn't feel like it. Like, can we just be honest and just say this generation didn't happen? Like, I just don't feel like,
I'm gonna stick by this. Like COVID really ruined this gaming cycle.
yeah, I
I feel like
agree.
COVID knocked at least 4 years off of this gaming cycle because you got to think. Remember when we had the chip problem, and remember when it was just people forgot about PlayStation,
It
like the
took people
PlayStation
almost
apocalypse, right?
2 years to get these
To
consoles.
even get a PlayStation.
Yeah, and
So you got to think that's 2 years off of that gaming cycle.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
And
I'm
it
looking
makes you
forward.
wonder too, like what does, because I'll even go as far as to say I don't think we'll get a PlayStation 6. I don't think it's going to launch the same year as whatever the next Xbox is. I think
Yeah, I
Xbox
think
and
is.
PlayStation have moved so far away from each other and what they're gonna
I was
do.
just about to say that. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I think that they have both realized that they have a particular vision for their brand that I don't think we'll get another. I mean, a lot of people won't remember, but the 360 launched, I think, almost a year before the PS3 did. And that could be the deciding factor for some people. I mean,
yeah. I
especially,
think them close drops. That's a thing of the past. You're absolutely right. I
mhm.
think these consoles are going to come out when they come out, and they're not. I almost want to say it's almost to a point where they're not going to really worry about what each other is kind of doing in a sense.
I don't
Like
think so either.
they're so far off. Like Xbox, whatever you want to say about it, they kind of planted their flag and they're sticking to their guns on what they want to do as far as their consoles and how they want people to game. PlayStation is still kind of, which I think this is slowly going to bite them in the ass, but this is for another topic for another day. They seem to be stuck in a little bit of a rut as far as what they want to do next because they have the single player games that's been carrying them for so long,
Hmm.
but as money become an issue, as game production get more expensive, as we head into these unknown territories as far as just tariffs and everything being affected, I think PlayStation, you would be remiss if you didn't think they were in the room in their what I like to call the judgment court with the long table and everybody sitting there.
And all the PlayStation
They
heads are
all sitting
sitting
there, yeah,
there.
trying to figure out, what's going to be our next big move because we can't, even though we have a great, strong lineup of single player games, we have to start generating more money. And they took those hits,
Yeah.
when they tried the live service games, we don't have to go through all that. But PlayStation took a lot of hits. Nobody wants to admit it.
They closed the
Or
studio recently too, just randomly off topic. Recently,
yeah, they've been taking a lot of hits. So on that side, you have them readjusting. Xbox seems so far for the last couple of months, it's been very stellar for them. I know people don't want to admit it, they don't want to hear it, but Xbox and what they're doing with Game Pass has been it's been very, very good for them. So it's gonna like I feel like with them creating this handheld and giving you another piece of because come on, damn well they're gonna be pushing that Game Pass hard as hell on that damn handheld. Hey, you could do this, you can do that,
which
and
would be cool too. I mean, because I was even thinking like, because they did some round table. When I say they, I mean Xbox. I think it was Phil Spencer and a few of the other leaders at
the
Xbox.
Mafia table.
Yeah, they did this round table talking about Copilot, which is Microsoft, not just Xbox, Microsoft's AI kind of agent initiative that they've been working on, and how it could potentially be integrated into gaming. And I've seen a lot of people go one way or the other on this conversation, where they gave an example of how someone was playing, I forget what game they were playing, man, but they were playing some shooter game, and the AI was giving the person who was playing like feedback on how he died, things he could have done better, like during the kill cam. And somebody playing Minecraft, where the person was like completely brand new to Minecraft, they didn't really know what to do, but they were like talking to the AI assistant on just like, how do I build this, or what do I need, how do I start? And I understand people's thoughts on this, right? And this is where you kind of get like philosophical on it, where people look at that and they're like, well, you're just kind of taking the discovery out of gaming, you're kind of taking the challenge out of it. Or I kind of look at it like an enhancement tool for gamers,
Right.
where I would assume that you could possibly turn that off, or AI backseating, right? Yeah, you could basically call it that, Bangle. But I'm looking at it from the point of, like, let's say from a shooter, where somebody a dad or somebody who doesn't have a lot of time to play games, they want to play their favorite shooter, their favorite FPS game, and be a little bit more competitive at it, where the AI could assist them, give them tips on how to be better, how to approach gunfights better. Ultimately, it still, in my opinion, goes back to the person playing the game. The AI's not playing the game for you. I could give you the best tips. LeBron James could give you the best tips on how to be the best basketball player in the world, right? But you still got to go out there and dribble the ball and shoot it. You know what I mean? That's just how I kind of look at that stuff. And I know some people are hesitant on AI, for sure. Agreed. There are some things with AI, when it comes to generative AI, that I don't agree with. But like I said this time and time again, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Oh, it's here. It's here.
It's too late.
And you're gonna have good and bad. Like with anything, you're gonna have people who misuse it or do some foolishness, and then you're gonna have good things that come out of it. So I think if if it can be used as a tool to help the developers and kind of cut costs, because that's what they keep harping on, right?
Right.
They keep harping on, yo, we want to use AI to cut costs. Hopefully, when we say cut costs, we hope that doesn't come in the terms of people losing their jobs to AI.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But there are tools that AI can give the developers to help them produce at a steady rate, a faster rate, whatever the case may be, which will cause the developing teams not to endure things like crunch or working 18-hour shifts for the next 6-7 months trying to make a deadline that the publishers and the stockholders and all these people then crammed in the developer's face. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you could even look at it from the point of, let's say, I think when the next console generation starts, whenever that is, whether it's 2027 or after, we're probably going to see some heavy AI integration into both consoles for sure. And I think that could be good potentially from the point of just like if you even if you just break it down to just like a graphical, just straight graphic settings, and how that could be brought a little bit more on par or closer to PC gaming, right? Because I've said this before. I'm gonna stand on this. The next generation is going to start at $700. I think it's gonna be a $699, like just full stop.
And I've learned like in psychology that
Yeah.
the 99 is all. It just makes it a tad bit sweeter.
It
than
makes it
700.
easier to your brain to accept than paying 700. The
Ain't that
1 cent,
crazy?
yeah.
Like, yo, if you put 7 or 699, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
But if you put 700,
Yeah.
oh, we start a riot.
I think full stop. It's going to start at $699 for the
and
next
I'm
console
glad.
generation.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Good.
Like it in.
Oh, you better than me because my number was higher.
Well, they could. Well, we've seen with Xbox before. They have always been the first ones to take major swings at things, right? Xbox was the first console to have a hard drive in it. Xbox was the first console to have an Ethernet port on the back. A lot of people don't remember this. You know, they've always
They
done.
made the 360 and the Xbox original one great.
Yeah, they've always swung hard or swung for the fences when it comes to features. And what if we get a potential console? We've kind of talked about this a long time ago, where you could have like compartments that you could swap out, like a PC, parts on a console that you could swap out.
And it'd be just like specifically Xbox parts, like you know what I'm saying. Well, if it's like Xbox GPU, maybe you want to upgrade this, or because I mean it'll give people pricing options, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll have, you know, so people won't be complaining. Maybe you would just get a lower end, you put lower end parts. But also, I don't know, I just want to throw this out here just to piss PlayStation people off. I don't remember how bad when PlayStation 2 had their little online thing, and it was very bad before it got good. Remember how bad it was?
Oh man, that was back when you just had kilobit internet. that was back before it was like 56K internet, early 2000s. But I mean, and then you think about that too, which I think is hilarious. Is let's say the Xbox is the next console generation just gets closer and closer to PC. You know, what if you end up having like a Steam app that you can access on Xbox, and then you could play your favorite. You could play Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 on Xbox.
Not far-fetched.
You know, like I could see these types of things. I mean, Xbox has always been, especially the last couple of years, hey, we want you to play whatever game anywhere at any time. Like I could definitely see that.
Which is going to start happening more and more. Boy, I cannot wait until PlayStation really start picking up that motto, because it's going to happen. And I can't wait to see the Sony ponies explode, because it's happening. It's going to happen in the far future. Exclusivity, quote unquote, finger quotations, is going to be at a minimum, because people are looking to make money.
Anymore, man. There's no...
people. It's gonna be a dying breed, because when I say this on Reddit and in these forums and stuff, people lose their mind. Like oh my god, no, PlayStation is PlayStation. They need to blah 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 blah.
The only company I see still sticking to their guns is Nintendo, because they can do what the fuck they want. That's it.
Because Nintendo is the mafia. Matter of fact,
we'll never get Mario launching on PC on Steam. We'll never get.
Y'all want to know a true fact?
Could
I drop some jewels on y'all real quick? That's funny. So, I edit, and when I'm editing and doing the thumbnails for YouTube and stuff like that, like they have a strike system, right? So before you upload, it passes through their system to make sure you don't have any music or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you can get like not like a good strike, but it's kind of like
that's a warning,
a fair use strike, right?
Yeah.
So we only get those when we post or talk about Nintendo. I promise you.
Oh, they don't play around. They don't play around.
Oh, they are watching. Or like if I use a Mario, I'm pretty sure if I used a Mario or some kind of Nintendo thumbnail in a derogatory way, I'm pretty sure
they're not. They're like Disney. when it comes to their IP properties. They do not fuck around. Like
Now,
not even a little bit.
yeah,
like
because for the most part, when I'm creating a thumbnail in this Nintendo, like all my thumbnails are positive. It's not like nothing too derogatory or crazy.
no, for sure.
But they do because I get that strike and I know that they're watching. All our other stuff cleared easily. If it's ever Nintendo, even like right now, we're talking about Nintendo. They're watching. Oh, they're watching. I think it's about 100,000 of them that they pay in gold shillings. That just
they just have AI that takes care of it. A Mario AI. That's what they probably call it, Mario or something.
With a plumber's crack.
Just something insane. But yeah, I mean that's.
Hey Weenie, hey, you trying to get us banned? You see this guy?
Nah, they're gonna be after Weenie. They're gonna kick his door in, man.
We need you as a mod, man. Yeah. Chill.
But I just really think that's where we could see the industry going. It's just $700 consoles is from the floor. Maybe this will, if Xbox has a successful handheld, I could see PlayStation being forced to make some sort of successor to the Vita. I think that would be cool. They've already kind of flirted with it with that one device.
They came out where you play through the airwaves.
Yeah, where you gotta have your Xbox, your PlayStation turned on to play. But I think
which is on sale on Amazon if you're interested in getting one.
Yeah, that's because nobody's buying them. But I think that they're kind of flirting with that part of the market again. And I mean, there's a big market there for people. Just like Bangle said, Steam OS move on PC. Yeah, it could be interesting. Like imagine a Steam OS on a console. That's another few tens of millions of customers that they potentially didn't have before. Yeah, Steam is king on PC, but there's still plenty of gamers for them to kind of tap into. Which I think that they're probably talking to Xbox about something, man. I think it'd be cool. It's definitely going to be interesting the next couple of years for tech in general. So
yeah, tech, and speaking of tech, check out our little tech thread that we have in the Discord if you guys are interested, where we talk about all the current events going on in tech. We just thought that would be a little cool thing to add to our Discord, So we can talk about some tech things. We are currently on different paths, but we are both on a technical journey. First of all, wait a minute. I don't think we talked about it, huh? Since you got the new job, hey, let's give it up to the homie for the new job.
I mentioned it. Yeah, I didn't. I'm not saying where I'm working.
Let's bring it back. Yeah. You ain't got to. No, I mean,
I'm working in healthcare IT now. Yeah, that's all I'll say. I'm working in healthcare IT.
Yeah, we're both on. I'm teaching myself to become the world's greatest ethical hacker. So look that up. It is a thing. You can hack for good causes.
If I can.
And speaking of, what's up, BZ? We have BZ in the chat. One of our good homies.
People will always be sick and be. Yeah, I moved away from state government IT for various reasons that I'm not going to mention on a podcast because this is not a political podcast. So.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good place to stop, man. We're getting a little long with it.
Wait, you missed you supposed to say that's a good. What did he always say? Put a thumbtack in her, or something like that. A thumbtack in it. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, man.
Oh man, the fucking stream just cut off. It said my stream key was, yeah.
Oh wow. Well, I guess we'll be editing that.
Yeah, it said my stream key was fucking incorrect. What?
That's what you get for talking about Nintendo.
I don't understand.
No, we talked about Nintendo too much. That's what happened.